Kwanzaa is. I mean, except that you're supposed to wear dashikis and eat corn and stuff. Nobody knows what it is, girl. But they taking their money here, so they got to give all the traditions equal time. Hey, you know what? I think I'm leaving the traditional week off from work to honor my African roots. You feel me? Joyous Kwanzaa, my Nubian sister. May the Kwanzaa help smile upon you.
Hi everybody. In this video I wanted to talk today about Kwanzaa, and I think that Orange is the New Black really lost a teachable moment here because the characters were written not to know what Kwanzaa was all about, but they did use the traditional colors. They're green, black, and red. Let's look at the meaning of those colors to start. The black represents the people that celebrate Kwanzaa. The green represents youth and hope. There's hope that's coming in the new year, and youth of a year reborn. We, in most cultures, think of the new year as starting fresh, starting over, starting anew, hence new, and baby new year. And the red represents the struggle that the African Americans and a bunch of others actually have had throughout the years. Talking about the red color of struggle, let's talk about how Kwanzaa first came to be. Kwanzaa was first developed in 1966, not that long ago, although it seems long after the new millennia of 2000. But 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga, who is Professor of African Studies in California State University, or at least was back in 1966. And Kwanzaa was developed from the Black Freedom Movement. It centers around cultural groundedness, and the term, I always love words and wordplay. The term Kwanzaa actually comes from the Swahili for Matunda ya Kwanza with one A, and that means first fruits, the first fruits of the new year. That's pretty cool. Now, while I could go on and talk about the website from the official Kwanzaa website, I'd like to talk about this book, because this book, as I've written, is a 6th to 8th grade interest level with a reading level of grade 5.6. So September, October, November, December, January, about maybe February time, between January and February. And it's a level N to R. So it's an easy enough level for 5th grade midterm to read. And this book talks about a character, Christopher Noel Dodd, whose birthday is around the time of Christmas and Kwanzaa. It falls smack dab in the middle of Kwanzaa. And my boyfriend's mother's birthday is December 27th. So that's something that they have in common. And I thought that was cool to share with you guys. Well, Christopher, his first name, it's about Jesus Christ. His middle name, Noel, is the French term for Christmas. Not much to say about Dodd, but the character goes through a lot of hard times about how to deal with Christmas and Kwanzaa and why it's important to learn about Kwanzaa. Here is Kwanzaa, the values and the days. Kwanzaa, the values. They're derived from Kawaida philosophy, a communitarian philosophy. Kawaida is another Swahili word meaning tradition or reason. The Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles, were developed by Dr. Karenga, and they're the building blocks of community and serve to reinforce and enhance that community. On the next picture, I'm going to show you the 7 principles, but let's look at those a little bit closer. And while we do this, I want you to think about what the different symbols mean to you, as I will show you at the end of each what they mean to me. The first one, umoja. I'm not going to pronounce all of them because they're too difficult for me, a white girl, to pronounce. Umoja means unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. And those are described by these 4 different colors: family, community, nation, and race. What do they remind you of? They remind me of the circles of the Olympic medals. The second day describes self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. What does this symbol remind you of? It reminds me of a pedestal. Hold yourself to a high standard. Put yourself on a pedestal to define, name, create, and speak for yourself. The third day is collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain community together, make brothers and sisters' problems our problems, and to solve them together. What does the Ujima symbol remind you of? It reminds me of the symbol for all people matter. This is a social working symbol, but those look like they're going towards the inside, and the original looks like it's going outwards. It also reminds me of 4 shovels, to work, meaning hard labor, to work hard. The next day is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our stores, shops, and other businesses, to profit from them together. What does this symbol remind you of? It reminds me of how yarn, string can be intertwined to work together. Sometimes the people have to bend to the wills of different things in order to work together towards a common goal. The next day, Nia, is purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of community in order to restore people to their traditional greatness. What does this symbol remind you of? It reminds me of the classic scene from Girl Interrupted, where they're doing a different take on the yoga tree position. The symbol has people with their arms stretched out, their roots firmly planted, and a tear to the right-hand side to remember what losses they've had. And the 6th day, Kuumba, is for creativity, to do always as much as we can, in the way that we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. This symbol reminds me of the spark of creativity. Everyone has that spark. And the final day is Imani, or faith, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. What does this symbol remind you of? It reminds me in part of the Celtic cross, but also a heart in the center,
because to believe with all our heart. And if you count 2, 3, 4 horizontal lines, could stand for our people, our parents, our teachers, and our leaders that were described in this principle. Here is a copy of all of them together. Umoja, unity. Kujadiliana, self-determination. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Nia, purpose. Kumba, creativity. And Imani, faith.
Of coloring activities that teachers can do with students for their own kinyaras, not menorahs with 8 like we discussed for Hanukkah, but kinaras with 7 for Kwanzaa. But we should keep in mind that we should be pushing those principles of the 7 days and hopefully build the community of our youngsters and our African Americans. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you liked this video, please comment below and subscribe to my channel. I hope I didn't offend anyone in this video. I used a lot of research for it.